Some guys really like Batman, and they had an epiphany. So they all got to work on the next Batman movie. And now they are the heroes, and you get to follow along. They're bringing him to life every week after this song. Batman, Project Batman, Project Batman. Fuck yeah!
Camp chair, nice.
That's what we use at my house, because I don't have actual furniture. I have one office chair and 2 camp chairs.
Hey, they work.
I can take that chair. You take the good chair.
I can shake this chair.
My back's better than yours.
Yeah, I got this one.
People can't hear you on the podcast anyway. What does it matter?
Hey, I talk.
Sorry, I like to shut on.
Hey, when you mentioned it to me, I talked more.
Okay, good. You did. Yeah.
You got to admit.
Okay.
Shut up.
I'm just saying, last podcast your daughter talked more than you did.
Right here.
I had to spend the time
We have a
silencing
listener.
her.
Huh? We have a listener.
He's really dedicated listener too. So is he actually, and their mom.
Nice.
Yeah, they listen to him.
I like that people listen.
It's a great podcast.
Yeah, I almost understand what's going on.
I have been listening to podcasts for a while. I really enjoyed just the form.
Yeah, me too.
So
you should check out my other one.
I have been meaning to look it up. I promise you.
Okay.
I have been missing out on Doug Loves Movies now for a little while. I'll be honest, because I've actually been catching up with this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you do that thing where you started recording like 3 minutes ago?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay,
That's how he usually does
that
it.
mic is hot.
He very discreetly starts recording. He started doing that a while back, and
so you get some good conversation early on. That,
you can.
Guys,
this is episode 10.
It is.
Yeah.
2.5 months of this stuff. So we're almost like 1/12 through the minimum that we expect this to go. So,
wow.
So with us today we have, as usual, me, Ken, the host, and the guy who does pretty much all the work. And do you have your computer with you?
I do.
Okay, because we'll need that, because you got something you want to listen to, and I'll give you a higher quality version of it.
Something I want to listen to?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
And then that's the Sean, the gangly looking motherfucker we usually have with us. And also Sean's brothers are here.
The gangly looking one, like you know how
it translates well in audio.
See the gangliness.
Okay, let me describe this guy to you. Imagine if Harry Potter did meth.
Mr. White.
That's awful.
Okay, and we've also got Sean's brothers, Chris,
Hello there.
whose house we stole, and Matt, who's in here wherever the hell he lives, some fucking place.
Picosens?
Yes.
Some fucking place.
But I was born here.
What's
Waynesboro hard? What isn't it?
It
is on the other end of the state. It is a swamp.
It
It actually means the Great Swamp in Algonquin.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
It's some fucking place out in the middle of the Atlantic.
If you hit water, you've gone too far. That's...
If you've hit water, you're there.
Did that flood? Oh, damn it. It flooded again. Okay.
So I can tell we got a good group tonight. I understand it's hard to follow a bunch of people in a podcast, but here's how you remember it. If you've been listening in, you recognize my voice, Ken's voice, Sean's voice. Basically, everything that Chris says is going to be related to Lemmiget or Louisiana. And
Or fan boats.
Or fan. tell us about that.
How he got into Duck Dynasty all of a sudden, I don't know.
No, it was Swamp
is that
People.
It? Okay.
It was
Swamp People. Oh,
yeah, Swamp
okay.
People he was getting into.
Okay.
Not that I've ever watched a single episode of it.
You automatically from the title, they are people, they're in a swamp.
It kind of says it all.
Yeah, there's not much else there. I mean,
fuck this here alligator.
Wait. People who live in a swamp?
No,
Or they're
swamp
from
people,
the swamp.
people of the swamp.
They're of the
They
swamp.
congealed from the moss.
And the muck and the grime and
Yeah, I mean, it's just all sorts of...
Birth consisted of them just rising out of the bog.
Which is what you'd imagine Swamp Thing would be, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a really good episode. I got this
think that's
feeling.
getting into Crypt Keeper territory.
That describes my looks, actually, too. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay. So, yeah, now that we've got all that settled, here we are, all sipping on our Mountain Dews. There's stuff we wanted to do tonight. Basically, we're going to talk characterization. We need to figure out who the hell we're dealing with here, specifically our bad guy, Ra's al Ghul. So, Ken's opening up his laptop, which usually means shit's about to get real.
Well, someone's being studious, thank God.
Oh, no, you should see his notes.
Oh, yeah. He went through all the podcasts we've done so far and has taken notes on it.
Oh, wow. Okay, now I know that was supposed to be happening.
It's damn near a book.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Wow.
Good day. That's insane.
It's a lot. Well,
Some podcasts got more
nonstop.
accomplished. Some got more accomplished than others, though. I can say.
There's episode 6 and 7.
We're very good. A lot got
No,
done.
we got a lot done in 7.
7, yeah, we talked. Well, you guys talked a lot. I was watching that.
Now, admittedly, I haven't listened to anything past the newest released currently, which is 6. So I'm a little behind.
You can't have. We
Yeah.
haven't released it. I mean, unless you got.
But I promise I am avidly keeping
Okay.
up.
Let's
I
stop
haven't
and listen to it right now. Let's catch everyone up right now. It'll only take 3 hours.
and change.
Woo, I had 3 hours to waste.
But yeah, we've got the storyboards again that Matt's going to take a look at because he hasn't seen them and he needs to see what we're dealing with. And when we do the video version of this, I'm gonna try to have actually compiled a small video showing these storyboards, which I will put in an annotation somewhere. If you're listening to us off iTunes or whatever, just imagine the Batman animated series. This is what that looks like. So, okie dokie.
That's the first shot for our
So,
trailer.
first shot, we've got
Yeah, that's the
Paris, the Eiffel Tower, the marketplace. It's just beautiful.
and
Chris, have you seen these?
the following
Someone
shot
sent me
is
yesterday.
everyone in that little panorama dying. These are the final ones. That's the final Paris shot. It was written something.
Oh, those are our paragraphs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
You kept those.
Whoa.
These aren't even the good ones.
Okay.
That was still very good.
I love that.
Yes. The leaping Batman is always like most impressive. So in the animated series, I forgot that cape on the inside is actually this really like
Blue.
light blue. Like it's,
Yeah.
Well, it's much lighter though than anything else on that costume,
Mhm.
except for the symbol, which at times like is this bright, sort of oval, this yellow oval with a bat, and sometimes it's just a black bat.
Yeah, in the new Batman Adventures and in Justice League, they got
Did
rid
they
of
find
the
some
yellow.
consistency?
They got rid of the
because
yellow.
actually in the animated series, I was noticing in between episodes early on they were switching costume design a little bit
You
here and
have
there.
that a lot in animation. Just
Just because I guess some episodes
production
might have been
inconsistency.
out of order,
Yeah, they're
or different. Animators were doing different
this is where it
episodes.
gets crazy.
And
I mean, honestly, this is what I want to compile into a video here.
all right, so I need you guys to
God.
vividly explain.
Okay,
Vividly
imagine.
explain.
Okay, basically,
If I could explain things the way this is drawn,
I mean, I can't do it. I'm not gonna lie.
It's amazing.
I mean,
just the level of detail. This is amazing.
I mean, and it's the artistic style is to the freaking T.
Well, it's that film
but
noir.
Tell them what you're looking at.
Okay, well, first off, we're looking at storyboards. These are 6 panels on a page. It's showing the front of a bank that apparently is being robbed by 2 unknown thieves. And it's the trench coat and the hats. You can just kind of tell just in the silhouettes because you can't see anyone's face. The lines are crisp. I love this style. And it's straight out of the 1940s. Like, seriously, this is...
It really is.
Like, that's my era.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And of course, it's a look that somehow the animated series got away with, even though they also had computers and they also had very modern technology. Oh my god.
And it's the scene of Batman fighting some robbers, and like I said, there will be a video with exactly
so
these.
Yeah, the leaping Batman in silhouette through a plate glass window.
Yeah, he's jumping out of the hole he walked in there with busted through a window.
You got really good at drawing him.
Yeah,
that square jaw.
Well, that was actually back in January.
Yeah, those are still the originals.
Those are these are the storyboards we discussed in episode 1, actually,
Yeah,
way back in
yeah,
episode
yeah.
1.
Oh, wow.
But and we've got
Batman punching out one of the robbers, trench coat flying, hat flying off.
it's a good thing you're here to describe this, because I would not have been able to do this.
I really like the hero shot.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
You need to hurry up and color it in for that video.
Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll have it colored in.
I really
What's
do
the
like the square
gunshot
jaw and... the
Yeah,
gunshot wound.
I mean, you're familiar with the basic synopsis of the film,
Here.
right?
That's
I don't know what that is. What is that?
It says here.
There's this little circle at the
Here.
bottom, circling nothing, and it says here.
I had an idea for one of the panels I would do for that storyboard as he's walking away from the bank when he hears the sirens of the police obviously showing up to the scene. In the background behind the hero shot, I was going to have them tied up, like ready for the cops.
Okay. Awesome.
And I just want to mark it for where I would want them.
Oh, wow. The batarang.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's Batman throwing a batarang. It looks pretty much like what you would.
An amazing action shot. Just
Oh yeah, no, I mean, this is why we need a video of these up, because people need to see these, because this is what makes me believe that this picture is going to happen. Yeah, just like the second you showed me these at the beginning of January, that was what we got it getting excited in this. And this is actually these are the practice storyboards for our trailer. Have you thought of what your thing name?
I've thought about it. I don't have anything.
Now,
yet.
see, that's the Paris shot originally, the one that you saw at the very beginning.
Okay. Yeah, they
Yeah.
finished
These
kind
are
of-
the storyboards from last week.
Okay.
Me and Otto went through and pretty much scribbled out how
That's
we
a-
would want the shots for the trailer to look.
Okay.
And then we were gonna
just
go-
kind of plot beats of a trailer.
Yeah, they're not going to look good.
Moments.
Have you seen our? If you've seen? I drew this one. I'm proud of that. It's Ra's al Ghul coming out through the smoke, and he's all silhouetted and shit.
Oh, the hair. Okay. I was gonna say it's
It
kind
looks
of
like him. It
it's-
looks like it does.
Well, it's either that or the Gila monster. Okay, the thing. the
But
hair.
he does, though.
He has
He
the
does-
hair.
he
He does
does
the
look like
wings.
that.
He does. That's
And
awesome.
then the next one looks like
wouldn't have
the
thought
next
about
one
that.
the next one looks like Swamp Monster. Or something. No, wait till you see that Alfred. That Alfred is the funniest thing.
Oh, God, the outfit.
That upsets me. That is just you scribbling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, a lot
I
of
couldn't
these
even do that.
are rough, very rough storyboards to help him do better storyboards. This is us visualizing.
This is you kind of coming up with.
It upsets me that when he scribbles, it's better than when I try.
I know.
Oh, no, you haven't seen the Alfred yet.
That sounds kind of dirty. You haven't seen the
You
Alfred.
haven't
I drew
seen
that
it
one.
yet.
Honestly.
We can tell.
I like when I draw things. Wow. Because it makes me feel accomplished. That's our names. Yeah, Sean did that. Nobody else.
It starts
yeah.
with Batman.
We're congratulating him on the spelling, not how it looks.
It's excellent.
This is a really epic shot. He's crossing off shit on a map.
Wow.
We'll fill you in on the trailer
Taking
this
out.
episode. Because
That's right.
Oh, the Clock King! I'm so happy.
I'm glad we're including him. I'm glad somebody supports it, you know? Because I
that's
was
exciting.
wondering if people were going to be like, yeah, or whatever, but
I know at least one other person of my generation, and we would both sit around in our dorm room bragging about the different episodes we liked the best, and we both kind of came to the conclusion separately and then we realized together that the Clock King was one of our favorite minor villains. He was just so interesting because it's
Especially when he
completely
got-
unlike.
Especially when he got that time belt thing. And
Yes.
he's going to have that.
Yes,
Feet out of time.
That made him interesting, but now also incredibly dangerous.
I had a question about that. Is the scientist that he gets that from? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Is he in any other episodes?
No.
Okay.
But he's going to have that. And I also had this idea. I don't know if I've ever actually brought this up, but in the fight, how they show up for the ambush is that what you see is a pocket watch fly through the air and land in front of Batman at his feet.
Okay,
And it's like ticking towards 12 o'clock really quickly. And he throws Talia and Alfred and jumps back right behind him before the thing explodes.
Wow.
Pocket watch grenades.
That's
Wow.
Have I not mentioned? I've had this idea.
Wow.
When
No,
you've
I
never
thought
told us
of this idea when we came up with the ambush scene. I cannot believe I haven't told you guys about that. Those are his. I mean, that's a new thing that he's got. The little pocket watch grenades. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How did I
awesome.
not have that already, though?
I don't know how I didn't bring that up. I thought I did. I
No.
seriously not told anybody about that?
No.
If I hadn't have rewatched those 2 episodes specifically, I couldn't have told you that didn't already exist, though. Like, that's just so in character with him.
I know, right? And that is something that I love about what we're doing is that we're getting these characters.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
no
you
one
kind
can
of
argue
realize-
that we're not getting these characters.
I agree.
The one thing that me and Otto wanted to talk about, explain about this shot, is we wanted the Paris shot.
That's
to
the
look-
Paris shot, yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to have people standing around like everything is perfect, everything's okay, and then that's when we would have the Abaddon kind of coming through and just killing people. Like we wanted it to just kind of strike like that. Like everything seems fine one
Just a
second, the
normal
next
day,
second.
and then everybody.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
just ash
like,
filling the street. I mean, after that,
Yeah.
when the attack happens, the entire population of Paris is dead in 5 seconds.
Right. Like we just.
I
want it to
mean,
be like,
it is.
So it's an almost instantaneous.
Yeah, it's
there is
death
a
at the drop-
living, breathing
death-
city to.
Death at the drop of a hat.
Wow.
So all you would see is like a flash, and then that's.
You'd see like an orange smoke come through, engulf everything, and then
Oh, okay.
and
then
like
ash floating through. The
the
streets of
people,
Paris.
the people just dust.
Wow.
That
Wow.
is awesome.
I mean, this movie is going to be pretty damn dark. I mean, 800 million people are going to be dead by the end of it.
So higher than Rambo for body count is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Far higher. I mean, 800
800 million. That's a lot of people. I'm going to throw that out there.
800 million people are dead inside 2 weeks.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, they call it the near apocalypse for a reason. I mean,
But they only call it that after the fact. Because that's something that's been kind of like
yeah, I mean,
making me it's like
we
in
won't
time
actually.
though you wouldn't actually know if it's not the apocalypse if you're
Well,
looking
and
through
it's
it.
not mentioned to be.
Only later can you really
Right.
look back and say
it'll-
that was the near apocalypse.
It's just like they didn't call World War One World War One until
It's the
after
Great
World War Two.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like that.
yeah,
It was what, the Great War?
yeah. It was the Great War.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just very generic, just.
The war to end all wars.
Well,
And then it
that was
doesn't.
after. And then, by the way, that was a bit of a misnomer. We're gonna. That's our bad. We're gonna take a
Mulligan.
Kind
Yeah,
of
That's
do
a
over.
mulligan.
Do over. Get around back. We're doing it over.
So you're gonna work on characterization this week.
Yes.
Can I get a technical question out of the way?
Yes.
Okay. Today I was rewatching some Ra's al Ghul episodes at work,
Always a good
and
idea.
and
God, I wish I could watch TV at work. You bastard.
okay, so in his vision, when Ra's al Ghul is describing his plan in the Demon's Quest,
Ooh,
that's
great
the name of the episode, right?
Yes.
The two-parter.
Uh-huh.
Okay, when he's describing it to Batman, it goes into like visualizations of the Lazarus Pit stuff. What is it? Slime.
It's like an enzyme.
Like a primordial. That's
yeah, it's
all
like,
that
Okay.
it's like a
kind of-
primordial.
Okay, I'm gonna
ooze.
for the sake of this sentence, I'm just gonna call it slime. So
I'm going to interrupt. I think I just figured out what it is. They say it's a natural substance that bubbles up from the earth.
Yeah.
What if it is leftovers from, like, the actual primordial ooze where life itself came from?
Like the essential, like...
Yeah, like where life itself started evolving.
Wow.
It is the soup that life came out of.
That would make sense.
I love that, but what I'm about to bring up...
Yeah, you do your thing.
Okay. Here's my question is... It shows that slime being erupted from the pits and going out all over the cities and killing all the people. So if the Lazarus pit itself, just the stuff in it, kills people, then...
I know where you're going with this.
Okay, well, let me... Yeah.
Yeah, finish your thought.
If that just kills people on its own, then why are we... Like, from the beginning, I've loved this idea of the reverse-engineered Abaddon serum, or the reverse-engineered Lazarus stuff that is the Abaddon serum, but if the Lazarus pit only enhances Ra's al Ghul and kills everyone else, why is it reverse-engineered?
The reason for this, and I've thought about this, and it's another one of those things that's really important, but apparently just stayed in my head. The reason for this is weaponizing the Lazarus pits, the fact that he's actually taken the stuff and specifically weaponized it. This means that he can disperse it. He doesn't have to rely on the Lazarus pit itself.
Locations, right.
He doesn't have to rely on locations, especially because it's been discussed that the Lazarus pit that he has now is the last one. There are no more. But the fact that he can weaponize it, make it more potent, especially, and to get rid of location problems and to actually make it a more fierce weapon.
Okay, so if it's where... I love this idea of where life started. Like, that's bringing it to a whole nother level. That's awesome. But if that's what that is, then... No, I was going to say then why does it kill people, but that's why it's reverse engineered. Is it like a thing like how, since it only works, since it doesn't really work on most people, the Lazarus pit, is it like a thing like Raiders of the Lost Ark? If like the fucking you open the Ark, don't look at it or you'll die. This is that type of thing?
There's
do you get what I'm saying?
Actually, I think I understand what you're saying. There's a scene in, actually... a little beside the point, I'm sorry. But it's Star Trek The Next Generation. Mm-hmm. All good things. The Q has taken Captain Picard to Earth to see the foundations of life. And what they're actually watching is the substance creep onto a rock. Not the most stellar, amazing moment. But it's where an amino acid chain is getting ready to
oh my god, hold on. I'm sorry, I'm going to lose a thought.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, what if the idea is the Lazarus pit does the opposite to you of what's supposed to happen? Like, if it gets erupted out of the ground and goes all over a city, well, a city's obviously full of life. It's a community. It's a good thing. It's supposed to be thriving. But Ra's was supposed to die a long time ago. When he gets in, it brings him to life.
Possible. But...
I'm sorry. All right, go back to what you were saying.
I
was interested. I just didn't want to lose that thought.
Before you continue, real quick.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as beside the point. You're on Project Batman.
Yeah.
Just what those are.
Well, I know that the Star
words,
Trek universe and the DC
those words are
animated
taboo
universe
here.
are not necessarily the same.
I think the revelation.
There's nothing that's taboo. If it's an idea, shoot it at that microphone.
Yeah.
But in that scene, you're watching. What is essentially supposed to be life on Earth forming, and it's not this grand moment, and you're not watching, the first, fish come, up from the surface and crawl onto a beach. You're watching the building blocks of life forming, and it just looks gross and nasty. I mean, it's not anything special at all to the naked eye. So, and I guess maybe this is something I've always thought of when I've imagined the Lazarus pits, is that it is this sort of fundamentally, arcane, basic building block kind of... It's acids, it's just compounds of stuff that, yes, thousands of years ago maybe were used to create a building block of something, but, we're so evolved and complex from what that is now. I imagine getting that on you. It's like trying to hook up, I don't know, an old floppy disk drive to a new Windows computer. I mean, it's taking something that's written in such an old code, you could theoretically trash whatever you're connecting it to now just because of what's been built onto it afterwards.
I fucking love that.
So when you were talking about the Lazarus Pits, though, that's and from what I've seen from the episodes, there's been nothing to dissuade me from that's what the idea is this old substance, older than possibly in life itself or the creation of life itself.
And we've had this whole discussion about the Lazarus Pit and what it does, and it's like, it's actually kind of really, really vague. Mm-hmm. Maybe Raish has decided he doesn't want to use that as a weapon anymore. Maybe he wants something that's sure to kill people.
Yeah.
Maybe he's jumped up from a 9mm to a 45. Could be that.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, a 9mm.
No, I get that.
I got some right there.
I got that one. How are you relating that to the Lazarus Pit, Abaddon stuff?
Yeah, it's like, he knows the Lazarus Pit can kill, but it's not exactly a sure kill.
Right.
Now that you think of it. Some people are going to get a hell of a lot stronger than they once were.
Mm-hmm.
But if you figured out how to take these building blocks of life and pretty much turn them into the building blocks of death,
mm-hmm.
then all it can cause is death.
Right.
So, weaponizing it, plus for reasons of practicality, that's why he would do it, I think.
Now, would this stuff be like a natural, resource, if you will? Does it just...
Does it
we
discussed
run
it
out, or?
We've discussed it on the last podcast that we recorded. He can manufacture it in limited quantities from the Lazarus Pit itself. Now, I'd like to think that the Lazarus Pit is sort of the Lazarus Pits as they are sort of self-sustaining.
Yeah, that's what I would think of.
Yeah, but what he can do is he can take the Lazarus Pit stuff, synthesize it, reverse it into the Abaddon. We came up with a different thing for it than serum last time. I forget what it was.
I guess you really wouldn't need very much of it, turning it into a weapon and all that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's something that can be carried by... We figured out the method of... Sean and I figured out last night the method of dispersion. What's more Ra's al Ghul than flying a biplane over the city to disperse it?
Yeah.
That's so him. That's so him. So...
That was actually pretty cool.
I mean,
you get to draw biplanes.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
But, next.
Okay, so we're talking about characterization. That's where we wanted to aim for in this episode. And a long time ago, it seems, we finished step 2 of this snowflake writing method. Mm-hmm. And step 3, which I'll read it again, is what I guess we're working towards today, because it's all about characters. Step 3. The above gives you a high-level view of your screenplay. That's our paragraph we worked on a few episodes ago. Now you need something similar for the storylines of each of your characters. Characters are the most important part of any story, and the time you invest in designing them up front will pay off tenfold when you start writing. For each of your major characters, take an hour and write a one-page summary sheet that tells the character's name, a one-sentence summary of the character's storyline, the character's motivation, what does he or she want abstractly, the character's goal, what does he or she want concretely, the character's conflict, what prevents him or her from reaching their goal, and the character's epiphany, what he or she will learn, or how he or she changes.
Now, way, way, way back in episode 1, we did this for Batman. Not this exact thing.
That was the character tree.
But we did...
Sort of. Yeah.
We did... for Batman an approximation of that pretty much covers that stuff.
Well, for the Batman thing, we did a general character thing, like who is Batman at his core, just in general. Mm-hmm. This is like in relation to our specific story.
Okay, well, I'm thinking what we got to do, because where we've been having trouble with, I think, in coming up with motives and stuff, is on the Ra's al Ghul end of things, not so much on the Batman end of things. I don't think I think we know him well, but we don't really know him concretely, and that's what Matt wanted in here for.
Right,
was to help us with that. So, Ra's al Ghul, who is he?
I got to tell you, I'm kind of a blank slate on Raish, on his motivations. I mean, you kind of understand. He has his own honor code. He has his own system, and he's obviously, ancient. So he has knowledge that even I think would even be intimidating to someone like Batman, who is actually a very smart, regular person.
Well, we discussed a couple of episodes ago. Paul came up with this idea for a sort of story arc for Ra's al Ghul, where Ra's al Ghul in his depiction so far in the animated series has been pretty, he's very honor-bound. When it came down in the Demon's Quest Part 2, when the whole fate of the human population was based on a fight between him and Batman, he could have just walked away and pushed the button, but no. He challenged...
Yeah, he challenged Batman.
He challenged Batman to a duel. He wanted to say, you know what, if you're the better man...
Then obviously you deserve to win. But I think I'm the better man. In fact, I know I'm the better man. So obviously I'm going to win, and I'll have plenty of time to push this button.
Exactly. Yeah. But at his last appearance in the DC animated universe, chronologically before his appearance in Batman Beyond, which is a very important... this is the appearance of him between these two episodes.
Okay.
It's a direct bridge. He was in an episode of... He was actually in the second to last episode of the Superman animated series. And what happened is, we discussed this in an episode.
Oh, shit. Sorry, someone.
Hey, you're good. I didn't pay attention.
He drank Sean's Mountain Dew.
I did.
Well, both of the bottles are green. It's fun.
But basically what happened is that the Lazarus Pits started not working for Ra's al Ghul anymore. He'd been relying on him for too long.
Yes, you had talked about this. Yeah.
And at this point, it was, Talia was in danger, and Superman distracted Ra's from finishing his whole transfer of Superman's power. Like, hey, you need to go save your daughter, she's going to die. It was because of that he lost the battle that day, because he went to save Talia.
To care for his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now you remember the whole... And so now, it's this sort of character arc that we've written for him, and we're trying to work out, is that he's sort of casting off this honor, because it's like... He's been really bound by this honor, but it's done nothing but impede him. And he's seeing it as his own weakness.
Is it a limitation that he's only seeing now? Is it because the detective, to him, is such a, I don't know, an equal to him in a way, that he is able to foil his plans? That he's willing to do that? Because, we've established, he's, over 600 years old, and he has lived by an honor code, whatever we feel of his morality. He has lived by that code for that time, but he's willing to abandon it or stretch it or gray those lines where it was once very black and white. Now, is that because of Batman?
It is because the catalyst for it was him stopping his transfer of power to save Talia.
Wow.
It was his love for Talia that cost him the day.
Wow.
No, I have a question.
Now
You also said that he takes over more or less Talia's body?
Yes.
So he does that because he's abandoning his codes of honor and all that?
He does that, one, because he's shown willingness to kill Talia before when he thought she betrayed him. Right. And then this time she actually visibly betrayed him right to his face. And so he's like, yeah, we're not doing that shit anymore. Yeah, you're gonna die.
But in a way, it's not a death. Like I could almost see it as a father willing to, strip out the imperfection of his daughter by putting himself literally now in this instance into his daughter, instilling her with his values. Kind of what every maybe parent tries to do. In this way, she's so flawed. This is the way he does it, and if he also gets to continue living,
yeah,
it's also a help. It's a bonus.
That's a classic trait of a terrible parent is not being able to accept your child for who they are. I want you to be more like me. So yeah,
but now you are.
But in a sick way, you could almost make it. You could also kind of say that he's not necessarily abandoning an honor code by that act, at least, because he's not necessarily killing his daughter. He could look at it as a way of improving his daughter.
Yeah, I'm sacrificing myself for you.
It's possible.
You know,
I mean,
in a way,
he's totally off his rocker this time around.
Well, yeah, you know,
and that's the thing. It's like when he starts killing people with the Abaddon. I mean, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody in the world but him and his cohorts know what's going on. All they know is that suddenly the entire populations of Paris and Hong Kong are dead and gone. Nobody knows what's happened to them. The local governments have everything quarantined. Justice League doesn't know. Not even Batman knows. Batman has to find out. That's the entire...
Right, that's your first kind of arc in the movie, is him searching.
But it's like... And he's just like, now I'm willing to just make this huge weapon that's just going to kill pretty much everybody. Yeah. I mean, now his plan is to wipe out most of the human population, as opposed to... Before, he had a specific count on how many people were going to die on his plan. Now he's just like, we're going to start hitting places. We're going to start hitting places hard, and I don't care what happens.
So essentially, North Korea.
Pretty much. But yeah, it's like, because of this, you know, he's getting rid of attachments. He's getting rid, because he's realized throughout the course of making this plan that has been his folly for the last 600 years.
He changes his name to Tyler Durden.
Well, is it that the world is so, you know, polluted at this point, or so corrupted that,
trying to purify
to purify it, you literally have to go down to like the marrow.
You have to fight fire with fire.
Yeah, and it's now. I mean, it was pretty awful before. You know what he was planning.
But that's one thing I've always loved about Raish, though, is he's never afraid to fight fire with fire. He'll do whatever it takes.
It's always been
it's just what
means.
It's his interpretation of what, you know, what it's going to take.
Before he had some idea on morality. He thought that at least what he was doing is the right thing.
Right.
He never thought, he never thought of himself as evil. He thought of himself as helping.
Yeah.
Well, and no villain necessarily sees himself as the villain to themselves. You know.
True.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure Hitler thought he was doing the right thing.
Well, he did.
I mean, I'm not sure, but yeah.
No, he did. I mean, and people around him did. Like, he had his cohorts, his henchmen.
Just like he has the Society of Shadows.
Like, yeah, I mean, exactly.
And now, but now he has become a true sociopath. You know, and the thing is that I don't see this as casting off his established character. I see this as a character development.
Yeah.
His growth was always going to be this incredibly tragic, you know, abandoning of maybe.
And that's a great way to put it, because tragic villains are always the best.
Yeah, it is kind of tragic.
I heard one line in The Demon's Quest today that was made this whole story especially tragic to me, over what Raish ultimately does to Talia in our story. Talia says to Batman, I seek the same ends as my father. I just don't seek the same means, or something like that. Like, she cares about helping the planet, and she thinks humanity right now is doing something terrible to the world as it's meant, how it's meant to be. But she just thinks there's a better way to go about it. Whether that's crazy or not, she's at least not trying to be violent.
Complete, you know, depopulation really isn't on her plate, so that's nice.
If killing half the population is wrong, I don't know.
That's right.
Turn in my badge and gun right now.
So
that's the meme that goes around Facebook when this movie comes out. It's just a pic of Ra's al Ghul's head. If killing half the population is wrong, I don't know.
Glad I got it.
That's great.
They contribute something.
That's great.
But But
I guess so.
That's what we can release first, before the animatic, before the bumper, before the trailer of the movie. We need the meme.
That's great.
Sean,
I believe in
what to
Harvey
do
Dent.
next.
I want T-shirts.
If I believe in Harvey Dent was a thing, I think this is a thing. Well, what is the character progression then for Raish? As he's.
What the thing is that
can we kind of lay this out in a chronological, maybe unraveling of a human mind?
I think I can do this.
Okay,
and try to do it without telling moments of Batman's.
Ooh,
I mean, you can tell Batman if he's in the moment with Raish, or because Batman did this, Raish has to do this. But just try to focus on Raish. That's what this step's all about.
Okay. So most of his character development is going to be told through one flashback that Talia brings up. After Raish's defeat at the hands of Superman, he and Talia escape, and he does some thinking, and he tells Talia, "You need to leave. It is because of you and my love for you that this battle was lost. You are to me what kryptonite is to Superman. And if I am ever to succeed in my goals, you can't be a part of it. You go your way, I'll go mine." And that's the sort of step where he realizes, if I'm supposed to be the person who's going to clean the world, I have to be clean myself. The world needs to be free of the clutter of the human race, as do I.
Wow. So the idea is then he sees his daughter as a blight, just in a way that he sees maybe modern society as a blight on the earth. His daughter and his love for his daughter is his blight on himself and his soul.
Yeah, and
that is
the way you just worded it is better than I could have described it.
Wow.
But yeah, no. When you think, it's downright harsh.
Oh yeah, man.
But that's, I guess, the only way, because you think of, in that universe, he does care for her. In probably only the way that he could. That is a love he has. It was genuine, that we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of, I guess, him pushing her away, even more than him taking over her body at the end, it seemed foreign to me without that explanation. I don't know. There had to be a catalyst for him to make that logical step, to abandon something, because he's not a person that gives up on anything. He's not someone that abandons something once he's set his mind to it. So there has to be a catalyst for that change in keeping with him.
Right. And following that, he gathers what's left of his Society of Shadows and begins to start formulating a plan, because now he's like, okay, this whole morality, love thing, this has not been doing me any good. Now he's starting to see other traits of his personality as being similar to Talia. The whole honor-bound, challenging Batman to a sword fight instead of just pushing the button. Now he's realized
it's an allowance that he's made that he can't make anymore.
It's like, it's one of the biggest tenets of his personality, but he's realized that he can't do it and have his goals succeed at the same time. He's got to pick one.
Wow.
And he's decided the ends justify the means. So, at this point, now he's like, everyone's gonna die.
Wow.
And I'm just gonna wipe out most of the human race.
So, I guess in his mind, what's the end game for him? What does winning look like to Ra's al Ghul?
For Ra's al Ghul, victory will come when the Earth is restored to a natural balance. And this is actually what he stated himself in the Demon's Quest.
Yeah.
When the world is back to a natural balance, he doesn't necessarily want humanity extinct, but he sort of wants it living in harmony with nature. Pretty much he wants society to degenerate back to where people are just sort of living peacefully off the land, but not raping it, not...
We're never going to use a resource to exhaustion.
Right, he wants people to be in symbiosis with the Earth, not to be a parasite upon it.
Huh.
That's endgame.
And that's
for
in
Rick.
keeping, even now, even his plan now doesn't kill everyone, just most people.
All
so
those
eventually,
that he deems unclean or whatever.
And the fact is that he plans on destroying civilization.
Yeah.
And the reason he's targeting major cities, these
are
places,
cultural hubs. These are,
especially economically. He wants to collapse all order, all of the perceived human order in the world is all these governments, all these cultures, everything.
And even especially look at big cities, those giant cesspools.
So essentially, it's like Moses in the
Oh yeah, this
ark
is
and
some
all that.
Old Testament shit right here.
Like, that's what it seems like a little bit.
Yeah.
Except not killing
there's-
everybody, just half.
Just most
I mean,
people.
there is a lot of biblical influence in our story.
Yeah.
Weird as it is to say, me being like an atheist leaning agnostic, but there's a lot of biblical influence.
I don't think an atheist leans anywhere.
No, atheist leaning with a hyphen in between it, agnostic.
Now, I have a question.
Okay, all right.
Is that
Is the Justice League at all going to be like in this at all, or
we've discussed it, and basically
like super? Or,
he's gonna
Superman
run into Superman. Batman's gonna run into Superman when he's traveling the world to figure out what the hell's going on and why everyone's dying. There's supposed to be like this sort of banquet. There's this banquet thing where people, major world leaders and stuff like that are going to figure out what the next step is, how they can help clean up, how they can prevent whatever's going on, and to try and put together the puzzle. And he gets there, and Superman's there. He runs into Superman, who's just sort of discreetly, and they have a short conversation. That's about all you see of the Justice League here.
The only thing I could figure out is be like Superman saying, "Hey, Batman, you kind of need to get on the ball with this," and Batman's like, "Look, this is mine. Stay out of this."
Well, because at this point in the story, Batman has left the Justice League.
Right.
Because of the events of Return of the Joker, he's decided that in his quest for justice, he's willing to put himself in harm's way, but not anybody else. And
That's what I like about Batman.
Do the Justice League resent him for this? Because that's going to be an important factor in how we write Clark.
But not Superman. I think Superman's the only one who really does.
Yeah,
it.
Superman.
He's happy to just not have him around.
But no, Superman knows Bruce.
They're close. I'd say they're almost friends, as much as you can be friends with Bruce Wayne.
But he doesn't agree, but he understands. I'm going to guess that Wonder Woman's at about the same spot, and probably the founding members of the Justice League, they'll probably all... Now, maybe when you get into the greater, Unlimited, some of them might not agree with it, but at least the people that he was really close to, the Big Seven, they'll understand why he did it, or at least accept it.
Yeah, I think that's what they'll do. They'll accept it.
I mean, and, he would always be welcomed back with open arms, is my understanding.
Because Superman was really the only person who really understood him.
Well, Superman's probably the most chill and accepting of everything because he understands. He'd do it himself.
Yeah,
if he could.
So I don't know why he's much faster than Batman. He's much faster.
So, I don't know. There's one thing that's always I'm not too up on the DC universe apart from Batman. Batman was always my guy. When the Burton movie came out, as a kid I was in, and the cartoon shortly thereafter, and that was it. So in the DC, universe, I mean, you have a lot of superheroes. You've got Metropolis and Gotham, and so, when something that is really global in scope happens, what do these other superheroes that we've already established they have to be there because they are there? What do they do? And are they more in the way than a help?
Mostly, they don't figure it out.
Batman's
Batman's the detective.
Right. That makes sense, though.
I mean, he's doing all the work on his own. But we've discussed in an episode how Batman doesn't want to bring the Justice League into this. One, because he doesn't want to risk their lives, and as an extension of that, if they are killed, and there's a pretty good chance that this thing that can kill, 1 million people in 5 seconds would kill them.
Yeah.
It is a pretty good chance that they'll all just die without doing anything.
I have a question.
Oh.
I don't mean to stop you or anything like that, but why wouldn't Raish, or however you say his name, why wouldn't he just target the superheroes and then target everything else?
Why was that? We had a reason for that.
Because it really wasn't about them, and that's kind of what makes him so cold-blooded, is it's at random.
It's not personal.
Yeah, it's not personal at all.
But the thing was
But
that
why not destroy the only things that could destroy
Because he's
you?
not afraid of them.
He's not.
When he first met Batman, he walked into the Batcave.
Yeah, that was the first appearance.
Like
it's
about Raish's agenda in the world. It's not like he doesn't want to give them the respect of considering them stopping him.
Okay.
That, and also I felt like he kind of wanted them to see what was going on. He wanted them alive to show, this is what's happening.
And if he wiped out all the heroes at first, the news would be about somebody
else.
It would be about something else other than the global well-being.
I mean, that's not going to cause as much of a panic as Paris was destroyed. Especially because in Justice League Unlimited, one of the major themes in the whole story arc of that series is that, can we trust these superheroes? They have a lot of power. They could totally conquer the world. Watch Justice League if you ever get a chance.
Okay.
It's worth. Unlimited gets pretty weird in a couple of episodes, but it definitely the first run of just Justice League, where all the episodes, every single episode was a 2 or 3-parter.
Wow.
Definitely watch that because it's worth every minute. Especially, like one of my favorite episodes was the one with Amazo, the android.
Yeah.
There's this android that one of Lex Luthor's employees builds. It's an adaptability android. It basically has the ability to copy people's superpowers and store them. And this thing is fighting the Justice League and kicking their asses.
That's
they are getting fucking destroyed because he can come up with anything to throw at him. He looked at Green Lantern, scanned his ring, made a ring, and kicked his ass with it.
That's awesome.
Hawkgirl turns around, he grew wings and got a big mace in his hand, and he started kicking her ass with that. And then he started combining stuff, and then all of a sudden Superman shows up, and he is as fast as Superman. He's got the laser eyes, he's got all the powers of Superman, and all of a sudden it's like shit just hit the fan.
Let me guess. They had to use all of their powers together to stop him.
They didn't even stop him.
I'll explain it because I love this. Well, what happens? Batman shows up.
He doesn't have a superpower.
No, he's like, you don't have any superpowers. And Batman's like, no, but you do. Pulls kryptonite from his belt.
That's awesome!
And he's like, you have our abilities, but they come with a price.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he held. Batman was the only one out of the Justice League that could hold a candle to, and it was great. Now, eventually, he figured out, I can just adapt that away, and then shit started really hitting the fan. Lex Luthor shows up because Lex Luthor is trying to control this android,
right?
And because he had this sort of self-destruct switch, he realized, oh crap, this thing's too powerful. Blow it up. Blows his head off, and Lex Luthor's like, oh, thank God. Amazo just grows his head back.
Oh, wow.
And he's just like, that was a mistake. And, Lex Luthor, at this point, he has this, suit that, lets him fly around and shoot lasers and stuff. And Amazo comes up, grabs him by the neck, and starts ripping this suit off of him. And then he goes to kill Lex Luthor, and he sees him just cowering there, and he's just like, So this is the human race. They have power, but the second that's taken away from them, they become these weak, useless little things. I have no time for this planet. What else is out there?
Oh my god.
So he leaves. That's how the episode ends. He leaves because he's just like, this is a waste of my time.
He's done.
No,
He's outgrown the
his
planet.
next appearance in the series. I mean, it was like the first minute of an episode way down the line. I think it's an episode of Unlimited, and he comes back, and it sends chills down your fucking spine. Wow. Okay, there's a conference on Oa, the planet of the Green Lanterns.
Right.
And discussing something about, some important Green Lantern shit. And all of a sudden, a proximity alarm goes off in the council building. And one of the head Green Lantern looks at this thing and is like, huh, something is traveling at our planet at an absolutely astonishing speed.
He actually
looks at the monitor, and like
What did you think?
The actual our Green Lantern that we like, and the Martian Manhunter are watching the conference because they're important to it. Martian Manhunter is, and I'm getting chills right now. Look at this, just explaining this. They bring it up on the monitor, and they just see this gold blur with energy coming behind it, and they just see these eyes. And he's like, and the Manhunter just gets this look on his face, like, it's Professor Ivo's android. And it flies towards Oa, and all the Green Lanterns on the planet fly up and make this big shield with their rings. He flies through it like a plane of glass into Oa, and it disappears. It's gone. It is.
That is amazing.
Gone. And there's no words after that. The Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern are looking at the screen, and they're just in shock. They're in complete disbelief. And then opening credits. That is how that episode begins. Watch Justice League.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. I gotta tell you, I've always been hesitant. Really, to the other DC I really have been.
Oh, it makes you fall in love with them. Wow. It really does.
Now I have a question.
This episode brought to you by the DC animated universe.
Is the movie y'all guys are
Well,
making,
that's what I was going to say, the project.
the project and all that, is it going to be like a to be continued kind of thing? So kind of like leave it open in case y'all want to do another one?
Well,
I'm not gonna lie, and this is really too early to say this, but depending on the success of it, I was wondering if maybe we could do a sequel that actually would involve the Justice League.
I mean, I don't want to give anything away because then that kind of.
That's okay. We don't know anything.
Yeah,
We got no ideas for that.
But
what were you
I
saying?
thought it would be. Kind
I was just gonna say it kind of
really early.
Out of the Past in Batman Beyond sort of is like its own sequel to this movie.
I mean, yeah, this is a direct link between two episodes.
Yeah.
But I mean, if this goes well, I don't see it out. It wouldn't be out of the question for us to think of doing another movie, whether it's related to this or
Speaking
not.
of which, Otto actually brought up an interesting point the other day. Finishing up Samurai Jack.
I mean, I've never seen it.
Never saw Samurai Jack.
Oh God.
I attempted to watch it, but then I plucked out my eyeballs.
But anyways, we'll go on to that. We got this movie to work on now.
Yeah.
So we're still talking about Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. So, I mean, you talked kind of a little bit about his I guess,
Damn, though.
evolution.
We said the beginning of the race story. We haven't gotten any further.
Okay, so so where were we? He started casting off all of his morality, and that was the catalyst for coming up with this plan. Basically, I'm just gonna cleanse the earth of people.
Eventually, we're going to need to invest in one of those people that type shorthand for conversation.
Right.
Stenographers?
Yeah, stenographers.
Okay.
But yeah, Chris has got it. I mean, we're not gonna be able to understand it because he can't fucking spell. But
didn't dare that.
Now, my question is, what is a worm hat? Because I got a couple different models here.
How you spell two?
He's already in the
There's three different ways. Forget it, man.
That's impossible. You'll never get that. Just say Smith.
How you spell Smith?
But anyways, okay, so then really not too much more happens with his character arc until the very end of the movie. The flashback explains most of this, and then at the end of the movie is his final encounter with Talia, and he says to her, "I once thought you to be my weakness." Right as he's about to transfer his mind. Yeah. "Once thought you to be my weakness. How ironic is it that now you're my salvation?"
Yeah, that I gotta tell you, that ending... It's
chilling.
Funny to me, because that ending is so chilling and terrifying, and yet... And Chris, you were talking about this earlier. You get more shit for killing off Alfred than you get for what Ra's does to Talia.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is just fucked up?
It is fucked up.
Because what he's doing to Talia is awful. But
it's his daughter. It's okay. Don't worry.
What is
his daughter?
What is your take on that? I want both of your takes.
Honestly, I'll throw this out there
because this has been bugging me.
All right, Chris, do you want to go first?
No, you go.
Sorry. Okay. Well, personally, it to me, it's kind of very sad to know, to think that that's how Alfred goes. Mm-hmm. In a way, because it's sort of a justification for every paranoia that Bruce Wayne has had about his career, about what he's doing. Is that yes, the one person who is probably closest to him is Alfred. It's the one person that's still kind of around him from the time that he had his parents still with him, and to lose him on an attack against Batman is sort of this vindication for everything that he has done to push other people away. The way that he's treated, Robin, both Robins, and
and Batgirl,
and Batgirl, and just everyone that even in the series was in his life, eventually does get pushed away, and maybe that's by the time of Batman, Beyond, why he does kind of come off as so exceedingly cranky and just
exactly.
It actually goes to his character.
Yeah, it goes to developing
especially plus
that person,
and then immediately
that person isn't the Bruce Wayne of the cartoons. And that guy, sort of said, "Oh shucks, 1940s, hand in my pocket, CEO." Right. Well, we're gonna go out there and just give 110%. He kind of had that all-American football player, persona. Even if it's just a persona.
Yeah.
He doesn't even try by, Return of the Joker. Like, that is gone.
Yeah.
Even though he's going back to being a corporate, head again. Like, he doesn't
You're going to like the Joker episode because we bring up a very important character thing.
Oh, okay.
For Batman.
Oh.
And I like the... since it's a story on Batman's level for his character, essentially about him getting older.
Yeah.
And the struggle of having to adapt to getting older in a world that you still want to stay relevant in.
Right.
And that it seems very appropriate to me to harken back to something that defined him as a young person, which was having the only people who were there for him be taken from him.
Right.
And also, that happens, and then immediately thereafter he has that falling out with Talia, and that's just like a final straw. It's just like, I'm done with He never, after that point, he never dates again. I mean, you see, it talks about it now to the past. It's just like that was his last relationship.
Wow.
And at that point, his life as Bruce Wayne, and that's basically what. Yeah, that's another thing this movie's about. His life as Bruce Wayne ends in this movie. Bruce Wayne dies. Damn. Batman lives, but Bruce Wayne's gone at the end of this.
Damn, that's nuts.
I've never really thought about it like that.
Me neither.
You're totally right.
Me neither.
I think the shitty thing is about Alfred and all that is that he has done so much for Batman.
I know. It's so sad.
It's really sad.
I get shit on all the time. I said we just let the old fuck just retire somewhere. You know what? We can send him to Paris.
Alfred just retires at the beginning of the movie. Bruce is like, "Oh, you've served me well, Alfred." Gets on a plane, goes straight to Paris. Bruce gets home. Bruce gets home from the airport, turns on the news. Paris has been engulfed by his toxic gas and killed everyone.
It's like that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they rescue the rabbit and they're raising the rabbit, and then it's like, "Okay, Bunny, we're really caring about you. Go back out into nature," and then immediately gets eaten by a fucking hawk. It's just like. And fucking Dee's just like, "God damn it!"
And that way, Alfred has, let's just say, like a good 2 hours. He's like, yeah,
2 hours. He won't even be out of the damn airport.
That is so.
Alfred has committed himself to this tragic lifestyle of Batman.
To a degree, though.
And that's the thing with Alfred's characterization, is all he has ever wanted was for Bruce to be happy, for Bruce to have a good life,
and just to
after
be.
his parents died.
He wanted to be someone. He wanted to be the person that was there for Bruce.
Yeah, it was all about
dying,
Bruce, though, not
dying
Batman.
for Bruce, dying for Batman.
I mean,
he would. There is no other way he would want to go out.
Well,
Probably not. I mean, he'd want to. I mean, as much as he can be a hero, he'd want to be that hero for Bruce.
I mean, the apocalypse would have happened had Alfred not jumped in front of Bruce. Maybe.
Well, I'm sure Alfred feels obligated to even still take care of Bruce.
But I mean, it's not like
died.
necessarily to a degree. He's not. He cares about Bruce. I don't know how much he goes along with Batman in so much as this is something that Bruce has to do. So
here's
I gotta let him do it.
Do you think when Bruce goes to sleep, Alfred goes down and tries on the Batsuit?
Dude,
there's a funny story about that.
to?
There's a funny story about that. In an episode, it was one of the first episodes where Batgirl actually figures out who Batman is, because she knows Bruce Wayne. And she's over at Wayne Manor, and she stumbles into the entrance to the Batcave. And Batman, and she goes over, and she doesn't think anybody's home. Alfred and Bruce are hanging out in the Batcave. And she just stumbles in, and she's like, "Oh, oh my God." And Alfred turns around, and he's like, "Oh, so you found out. All right, I admit it. I am Batman."
How many people keep stumbling into the fucking Batcave?
It is the worst kept secret in Gotham. It is the worst kept secret.
It's always the entrance
Anybody
behind
who-
the club.
Anybody who goes into Wayne Manor will find out. Not the first Robin, but the second Robin, Tim Drake found out.
Yeah.
Then Batgirl, like very shortly thereafter, Batgirl, and then a bunch of years later, Terry McGinnis. And and let's not forget that fucking android that Bruce Wayne was dating found out that way.
Yeah.
Do you remember that with the hard act? Hard act found out that way, and it's just like, damn. You'd think he'd put a padlock on the case. Yeah, it'd look kind of suspicious, but at least people wouldn't just be like, "Oh, whoops."
Couldn't you just have a key or something, Bruce? I mean,
Voice activated or
something. Retinal scan? I don't know.
That's like the only points Nolan gets over the animated series. I love that. The piano.
Oh yeah.
You would think
I'm
being
gonna play the
so
song.
rich
Dude,
and
dude,
having
dude.
technology
Oh shit.
that he would have something like that, being so
But-
rich.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking.
It's my replica of the Bat Cave. What?
But now
It's
that,
his replica. He knows
I had
exactly
it
what
built.
the Batcave. I'm not Batman, but I know exactly what it looks like.
I'm just a big fan. I'm not weird or anything. It's my man cave more than my Bat Cave.
Sometimes I like to put on the Batsuit and just walk around.
It's not weird.
What did this just go from Batman to Buffalo Bob sort of thing?
It's lotion on.
but yeah, back to the Alfred thing. With your testimony, I'm thinking that you know what it's almost and yours as well. It actually there's not really a better way to do this.
There's,
story.
it's
sad.
something that kind
It's-
of has to happen, I guess, for the Bruce Wayne character to actually
become who he is
become
later
who
on.
becomes later on. Yeah.
And you've got that, and I mean, it's like Alfred's probably as much of a father to him as his father was, and Alfred considers him
If
a
not
son.
more.
If not
so.
more so,
Yeah.
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 I was
he
going to
was
say.
8 when his parents were killed.
Yeah.
He would barely remember his
Oh, yeah, I'm
I mean,
sure.
by the
He's
time
haunted by their memory, but like actual
he probably doesn't remember what they
memories,
actually look
yeah,
like.
not
no.
so much.
Oh, and here's the thing. We've demonstrated, okay, yeah, it was a vision by the Scarecrow, but in Over the Edge, Alfred saved Batman's life when he knocked Jim Gordon over to stop the bullets, and he went to jail. And it's just like, it is something that Alfred would
Alfred's
do. Alfred
willing
would
to-
die for Bruce. Easily. I mean, there's no question that he would do that. And...
Well, for that pension plan, wouldn't you? I mean, I don't know.
Well, it all good was kid.
Oh.
The thing is, would Alfred really want to retire? He'd want to be there for Bruce, I'd think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right to the bitter end.
No.
Yeah.
Although I
Until
think
he
in
died or
his...
until Batman died.
I was going to say, though, I think he's always kind of assumed, though, that he would
Outlive.
actually have the chance to retire in that Bruce Wayne
I can't
probably
think of
is
a
not
better
going to
place
live
for
through
him
this.
to die, though, than actually in Wayne Manor.
Yeah. We should have him say a line like Batman's about to go do something dangerous, and Alfred says something like, something about how sad it's going to be that he's going to go out before him, or that I'll have to watch you die too.
I mean, it's like, when I came up with that scene, and I did it on a podcast, I shed a tear because it's just like, I mean, it
was frightening. Yeah, it was frightening to listen to. Actually, I mean, that is sort of the father character of that relationship, and
it's going to hit like a truck.
Yeah,
it really is to the people who are just going into this, because there's not going to be any. It's going to be so sudden. It's just, I mean, it is going to shock the fuck out of people. And
as it should. I mean, that's what kind of the feelings we want. We want that Mask of the Phantasm feel. Like the first time you saw that movie, I mean, it was deep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Return of the Joker, even more in some scenes.
Oh
it's
yeah,
just
the
like,
flashback definitely.
I mean, that was
Mask of the Phantasm. Though. I'm sorry, like just the introduction to that villain with the mist and the shadowy figure coming out.
And the thing I have to give Mask of the Phantasm over Joker is the soundtrack.
Oh
my god!
Amazing.
I have like this 14-minute sweet cut of it on my MP3 player that I listen. I listen to it all the time when I'm at work because I'm just like, I listen to that and I get Batman ideas. It's just like
it's a sweeping score in that movie.
And
but the line that we were actually just watching a little bit of it just a little bit ago, and it's the line where the Phantasm is approaching its next victim. Their name,
your angel of death
awaits. That line is so
he's terrifying. He really is. If that was walking towards me, I shot at it a bunch of times and it wasn't doing it, I'd be gone. I'd be like, fuck this. I ain't doing this. We ain't doing this. We ain't playing this game. I'm getting out of this shit. I mean, hey, nice meeting you, buddy, but we're going.
One of the things I definitely wanted to keep with our movie that I loved about Mask of the Phantasm was Batman's entrance. I mean, you're just seeing this normal business room, guys talking business, through the goddamn window. And I was like, that was amazing to me. I still love that scene.
He throws the desk at somebody.
It's a fucking brutal couple of seconds. It really is.
The one thing I liked about the old Batman, the animated, is the fact that it didn't take place in present time.
But it did.
I mean,
it did.
But
it's
didn't
Gotham.
have that feel. Yeah.
Gotham has... You know how, like, New York's got its own sort of subculture. There's there's a Brooklyn subculture, and then these Queens. You got all this stuff. You go to Tokyo. Tokyo's got its own little thing going on there. Hong Kong, all these places, these cities have their own cultures. I mean, there really is living in that city. You just you take on. It's almost like living in a. It's almost like a difference between living in a foreign country. Yeah. Gotham has that.
It's stuck in an eternal state of film noir.
Yeah. And I love that about it.
The cars all have that just sort of streamlined look. Everything's streamlined. The men all wear fedoras. They all wear trench coats.
I'm not going to lie. If it weren't for the crime going on there, I'd love to live in
That's a wonderful place. And even the crime. I don't know.
You do have
There's money in it.
Batman.
Yeah, but the chances are if you meet Batman, that's not a situation
that's
you want to be in.
not where you want to be.
Yeah, no, that's one of those things. I'm gonna make an honest living. You guys go do that because I can handle a couple of cops. But that fucking guy in that cape, that guy is crazy. And
well, he is crazy. I mean,
matter of fact, I found out that psychologists in training, a lot of them actually do study Batman as like a training exercise. They look at him and they try and figure out what's going on in his mind. Psychoanalyzing Batman is actually a thing that they teach in college courses.
He's actually one of the most well-defined characters of all time.
Of fiction.
Yeah.
I mean, not just comic books, but fiction in general.
Have y'all ever read The Watchmen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a theory about The Watchmen, and I mean, because the characters are, it's a DC comic series,
Have you read it?
I haven't.
Oh,
it's really good.
It's a great book, and the movie was very faithful to its own detriment, its own,
I will go with that.
It tried very well.
It was a good try.
It gave a great effort. But, the character, the Al and Rorschach, are, in my opinion, they're kind of two sort of variations on Batman as a character.
Who?
Rorschach and Night Owl.
Yeah, I see that.
Night Owl is, that the brilliant, rich, making these wonderful gadgets and this very moral person, such a good guy. And Rorschach is the completely fucked up, lives by his own code, works in the shadows. And you notice in the comics, and that they're the team.
Yeah.
They're the crime-fighting duo of that book.
Right. And Rorschach, he doesn't even seem to be doing it because he thinks it's right. He just seems to be doing it because that's what he does.
That's him.
Yeah.
And I think that's because those are kind of the two states of Batman as Alan Moore kind of envisioned it.
Right.
Of this actually very fine, upstanding, pretty mentally okay superhero. Maybe some sex issues. I don't know. Well, but and then Rorschach, who's just the dark heart of the Dark Knight,
right?
And what this guy would actually be like if he were as fucked up as Batman is.
Yeah.
No, he's fucked up. Without the privilege of money or technology.
We're at an hour 20.
Oh wow.
Is that what you asked me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, I was just wondering where we were, because we do have to get some characterization in, and also you guys have something that there's a presentation for you at the end of this. So.
We kind of did get off the rails a bit.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it always happens in this, and you expect that. You expect that in podcasts, especially this one.
Yeah, the revelation of podcasts feeds tangents.
No one ever.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You have a bunch of goddamn nerds and a redneck all sitting around a microphone.
He's looking at you.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I pointed at you. I bet you.
I don't know many rednecks who can talk about Ra's al Ghul at length.
Boom. And I can't even say his name.
Yeah, well, typing it's a bitch too. So.
Yeah.
I think the first 3 episodes, the primary goal was figuring out how the fuck do we spell Ra's al Ghul. It was a hyphen. It wasn't a hyphen. How many apostrophes are in it? It's like it's probably like Raish is apostrophe A apostrophe S apostrophe.
Yeah, I'd add like 7 of them just to make sure.
Just like the apostrophe. The
I can't
apostrophe
spell
key.
anyway. So
The
what's
Umlauts came in there, I think, organically.
The apostrophe key on my keyboard is broken. I've typed so many times.
Every other letter's capitalized.
Yeah,
So he's just jumped from being, sociopathic supervillain into some sort of degenerate rapper.
That's how we need to end our movie, a Ra's al Ghul rap. Over the credits.
So is he just kind of
I'm
like
not gonna lie.
with,
I'm not gonna. This is actually stupidly relevant. I was wondering if we could ask my cousin to do a little song, promoting the movie, because he does that nerdcore rap, and we plugged for him in one episode.
Yeah.
I was wondering if he'd be interested in doing just like a song, maybe on some sort of promotional album we do or something, or maybe halfway through the credits, suddenly, holy shit, there's this Batman rap going on. What the fuck's it? I mean, just sort of as a nod to him. I thought that'd be hilarious.
Hey, it
Sort of
worked
an
for
in-joke.
Wild West.
There you go.
Did it? Did it?
That was awesome.
See, it's funny because it's true.
But,
They did the same thing with Men
So-
in Black.
Oh god.
And that didn't work.
but none of those raps were funny, though. This would be funny.
If we had like a team of like 600 people that with like a 7-minute credit sequence, I would say that's a cool thing. But since our credit sequence is going to be like 30 seconds long because there's like 40 people involved maybe at the end of all this,
Yeah,
then maybe there should only be instrumental Batman music.
but
What would a rap with, Ra's al Ghul be like? How he killed half the population, got fucked over by his daughter and then killed her? Like, that's pretty hardcore.
5 song titles.
this is a tangent that we have to throw here.
Everybody?
Okay. All right.
Rap song titles.
Song titles for raps by Ra's al Ghul about what he's been doing. This is almost a good characterization exercise.
It is.
Restoring balance, yo.
99 Problems with the World Ain't One.
Talia, get your skanky bitch ass out of here.
How Ra's pimped the world.
And whoops. Sorry about that.
Y'all too.
We can do one better than that.
Oh, hold on.
I did have one, but I don't think it's a rap song.
To Paris with Love.
See, I was gonna say we'll always have Paris. Oh wait.
You got one, Ken? You're thinking of one. You're thinking deep.
I'm not gonna throw one out if it's not clever enough. And I don't
I
get-
know, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think we got a couple of good ones. Talia, get your skank bitch ass out of here. It's all about the Abaddon. I think
That was great.
Wow.
Welcome to Project Batman. For those of you who just tuned in,
I believe we're sipping on gin and juice. Laid back.
I was just gonna go the opposite route and go, and that's it for Project Batman. We're not gonna top that, but I'm just kidding.
we're just sitting here with a bottle of Patron passing it around. Chris is like, you have
Patron.
yes, you have something here.
All right, so what else do we need to get to?
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered at least the race story arc. Was there anything else character-wise that we wanted to really get in on that?
Well, I think pretty soon we should do the note card exercise I was talking about last time. And
I'm thinking next episode we've got to do that and really outline what your first 15 pages are going to be about.
yeah.
Especially because you're writing a lot of scenes that are really important to the film, like you're going to be writing the bat armor scene. Which sucks. 'Cause I'm not gonna see it. But
Well, I mean, I'm just presenting it to you to change however.
I put myself on the same sort of time period. I want to get the final drawings for our
animatic.
done by the time you finish your 15 pages.
Okay.
And then
I think that'll be a really cool
our
episode to
video.
do all that.
Well, okay. Any other race stuff we want to cover this episode? Because I want to.
I was just gonna say a lot of the race storyline, like where he goes to do this and like why he does this. We'll discover scenes that need to be in place to get to other scenes we already know we have once we start laying things out chronologically in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't know how to get from here to here. We need a scene here that does this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have one more rap thing.
God damn it.
A billion black coffins. And I feel like that'd be pretty easy to do.
God damn it.
That just happened. Yeah. That just happened.
I didn't mean to fuck everything up, but I'll throw it out there real quick.
I'm thinking we're gonna scrap everything and we're just gonna write this movie with this rap soundtrack behind it and be done with it. It's just like we've got
It's actually gonna be a 90-minute rap music video.
When Batman shows up once or twice.
It's gonna be Ra's al Ghul featuring Batman.
Sounds like the ultimate duo.
You heard?
He'll just go short algae.
Ra's al G.
Up in Hizzy?
And Batmizzle.
So who's next to
Lil Bat.
characterize?
Little Bat.
Okay, so you start the next thing.
What's the next thing?
Was that it?
We're doing Talia, or
Are we doing more characters?
I'd say we're getting pretty close on time here.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just go into the last thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we were discussing music earlier.
he's pulling a condom out, by the way.
He pulls a condom out. There's about to be a billion black coffins.
Actually, I'm pulling 4 condoms out.
Whoa!
Sean!
It's good to know you got options.
This goes in the computer. I handed him half of a Boba Fett USB drive.
Awesome.
I'm pretty sure Sean's daughter ate the other half.
Nothing wrong with that.
As is her wont.
It's okay. It's lead-based paint. So.
And a billion Chinese people couldn't be wrong.
What's the American Beauty thing?
That's just the movie that I have on there.
Good
American
movie.
Beauty?
Good movie.
Yeah.
I love
It's most of the dialogue
literally
actually
like my
ripped out of
favorite
it,
movie.
though. It's really weird.
I had never seen it before until like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Did you love
You're
it?
welcome.
Yeah, it's really good. I
It
like
was pretty
it.
good.
It's literally like I know I could recite that movie from start to finish right now.
But, okay. So, give me that
Did you not
notebook
like the
wherever
movie?
the
It's
hell that...
good. It's very good.
Yeah.
It was very good when it
This-
came out.
I see your
Okay.
face.
It has not held up well, in my opinion.
What?
American Beauty. I liked the movie when it came out. I like it
more every time I see it.
Get out of here, man. Get out.
It's aged a little.
Well, that's-
and maybe that's just my.
I think that was 14 years ago.
Oh
Well,
my
that's true.
god damn it!
He has
Okay.
aged quite a lot since then.
So, what we have here,
The mummification
is-
process.
this is the working music for the trailer, the animatic trailer, which will be out hopefully at the end of this month. If it's not, I'm going to start smacking heads. But what we're going to do is we're going to play the music, and I'm going to do the Ra's al Ghul monologue from the trailer with this, and we'll just sort of get an idea of the length here, which I think this is going to work. But then we can just sit here and marvel at the music, because I think it came out really good. This is something I did in like 2 hours, so hopefully it comes out pretty well.
You know
What?
what? It'll be a lot better if I mix this in.
Put it in.
Okay.
Post.
Like, yeah, it'll sound a lot better.
Post.
Hey, turn on your PS3 and throw the USB drive in there just so that you guys can hear this. I want you guys to hear the music. So what we're going to do is I'm going to record this separately, but they're going to listen to it now.
All right,
Okay.
so I'm gonna start the track in 3, 2, 1, now.
In the year 2009, I, Ra's al Ghul, eradicated 1 in every 10 lives on the planet Earth. The death toll rises to an estimated 600 million in what many people are referring to as the apocalypse. One of these lives was my own. My death was a gift, however, for not unlike the Phoenix of legend, one must die in order to be reborn.
So, what'd you guys think?
That was
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
fantastic.
All right.
Sounds good,
All
man.
right.
Oh no, I want to listen to it again. Yeah, you dick.
But yeah, it sounds really good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
The music really swelled right there.
Yeah,
That was
It's
awesome.
supposed
Wow,
to.
that was
It's
great.
supposed
That was
to.
great.
Like when I was writing
had
it,
the
I was
timing.
remembering the monologue. I needed to know how long that little tremolo string and timpani thing goes for.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there trying to recall the shit from memory because he had my damn notebook. Yeah, I think the score turned out pretty well. So
I'm excited for it.
I think that our animatic trailer is really going to start getting. I mean, like, just the people who have like a passing interest in it, we'll just send them that. And we'll just be like, oh shit, I need to start listening to this thing. These guys are doing something.
I hope so.
Well, just being a casual listener, for the last a few episodes, and knowing Batman and knowing the source material you guys are working off of it, at least especially for the artistic kind of direction you're going with it. It's a really exciting project because that version of Batman is in some ways a incredibly pure form to what maybe the comics were originally about, as kind of the detective story, of that era, that film noir.
Oh, that's awesome.
One guy versus the evils of.
Sorry.
Ken's showing us a picture of Batman and Bane as cats.
I didn't
Waynesboro.
mean to interrupt him.
I'm not.
reckoning.
Yeah, I listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Listen to all of them that are out, obviously.
Yeah, this is basically just a bunch of fans that we brought onto the show. Just happen to be
We're
related.
fanboys of the podcast.
They just happen to be related
to.
they're related to Sean, so that's how they got a spot on here.
Yeah, but don't think that's why we're listening.
I
'cause he's not that interesting.
I don't know much about Batman, but what I can say is I'm excited to see this project. And
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm kind of learning how to say Ra's or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
Eventually I should be able to spell it in the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, something me and Ken always talk about is every time we do one of these podcasts, we get more excited every time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's just like it's gonna be really exciting once you get that Billion Black Coffins song written.
At least I have a spot in the project.
It's on you, darkness.
Yeah.
one thing I really want to do is when we finally have the completed project, like when the movie is like done, I want to make an agreement to not show it to anyone else until we premiere it.
Oh yeah. No, there's gonna be a premiere, and
I want to do it at Zeus. I want to do it at our hometown theater, and I guarantee you we could get a bunch of people interested.
Definitely. I mean, I intend on there being a premiere. I'd like to premiere the trailer at the end of this year. Maybe not at Zeus. Maybe just like a big thing. It's whoever's house has the largest TV.
I bet we could have him play it at Zeus. Maybe. We'll see.
Could you imagine if we just managed to get him to sneak the trailer in before a couple of movies?
That's what I'm saying.
Just not like, what the fuck is this?
He's done shit like that before.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be amazing. But hey, if you're listening and you're enjoying this, I know you have nerdy friends, so tell them about this.
Yeah, you tell all your friends. I know you have nerdy friends.
Yes, I have.
Well, tell them to listen to it.
He counts as like 5.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's how nerdy he is.
Yeah.
And we now officially have a Facebook page.
Yeah, I just now got around to it. It took me like 15 minutes. I don't know why the hell it took so long, but...
Like us.
Yeah, do that.
I did.
Well, we should definitely have up those storyboards.
Yeah, we'll try and have up some sort of storyboard video.
They'll definitely be out by the time you guys hear this.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago, if you're listening to this.
So, leave a comment.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
We need more comments. We've gotten a bunch of them recently on our YouTube videos, and I've been really excited to read some of that stuff. So that's what's getting us to do that storyboard video, is someone was telling us to get off our asses. So
really, I hadn't looked at any of that.
Oh yeah, no, it's just like, you guys keep talking about these storyboards. Why don't we see some of them? And it's just like, fuck, this guy makes too much sense.
Damn, that's awesome. Is this a stranger?
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Unless you know Woody Kid 386 or whatever the fuck his name is.
That's awesome. This excites me that people actually listen to this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, people do.
All right. Do you have a Batman line? Did you prepare one?
I did not prepare one. How about you guys? You guys got a Batman line?
Oh yeah,
you guys are our special guests. You guys come up with a Batman line, any Batman line. That's how we close an episode.
Batman's voice.
Yeah.
Your best impression of Batman's voice, which I'm pretty sure for you would be something like, "Well, ain't there Joker?"
Well, I can do a Joker, but I cannot do it.
Boy.
Really? Okay. I've been working on a cross between Jimmy Stewart and Bane.
Why would that happen?
I need to hear it.
What if it? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's just sort of my Bane kind of morphed into Jimmy Stewart as I was doing it. So I wrote, well, good evening, savings and loan. I'm reckoning. Clarence?
What was your drink of choice? And how'd you drink it with the mask on?
How did you do that exactly?
Was it Venom?
Why wear the mask?
The only thing I can do is the Joker from that one movie. What's it
Dark
called?
Knight.
Dark Knight.
The Dark Batman.
You want to know why I use a knife? Guns are too quick. Don't have time to savor it. There's a little emotion.
And that's it.
That was great.
Thanks for listening, guys. And thanks for being guests.
Yeah, thank you guys.
It will not be the last time you guys are on here, guarantee.
Yeah, definitely.